All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom and shalom and shalom and shalom, Sister Deborah. Coming again with a message, and I'm going to enjoy this one. I woke up this morning and I was uh, getting some things together, and I had piles of papers in the dining area, in the living room, in the bedroom, of papers that needs to be sorted out and taken care of, put in the proper order in what needs to be looked at and tend to. And while doing that, I was just taken over by the Ruach HaKodesh. I guess you can also call it full of the Holy Spirit. I was on fire from the spirit realm to the natural. And I felt the Most High assisting me in taking care of this situation. I wasn't planning on, when I got up, to do that. I fixed me a cup of coffee and I sat down, and all of a sudden I saw myself collecting all of this, and the Spirit said, let's take care of this right here and right now. And I was like, oh, okay, let me get my coffee and sit down. And I start to separate everything in the proper category. And I had like 5 different sections of paperwork scattered around the house. And in the last 2 weeks, I let everything, in really the last month, get out of order. And the Spirit knew that He wanted me to put things in order in the natural so I will be okay in the spirit. See, a lot of y'all don't know nothing about that. Yes, I can say that. A lot of you all don't know nothing about that. You think living is everything in the world is in order. But if everything in the spirit is not in order, then everything in the world, no matter how much you think you got it in order, it's out of order. So I'm so grateful that the Father took our time to help me to get these things in order. I have always been hung up on putting things in category and in order. So in the process of it, I began to feel this sorrow. It felt like sorrow at first. It did. And I began to feel this burst of feelings that I really can't explain to you all, because it's something that one only knows when the feelings of being in the presence of Yah. The feeling of knowing the feeling being in the presence of Yah. Knowing the feelings of being in the presence of Yah. That's the topic of this message. I'm getting ready to explain to you all how powerful it is to know it, the feelings of being in the presence of Yah. And this is what was happening to Sister Deborah this morning. So I began to separate everything in a category and then update stuff that needs to be looked into that I have bypassed in the last month. So going through that, I start to feel this heaviness. It felt like a heaviness of sorrow. But then I began to say, okay, let me go get some folders so I can put these categories into each folder. Each thing needs to be taken care of. Let me put them in folders. So I went into my room and I poured out one of the boxes, and the box burst open. And I realized that, oh, look at all these files. Then I looked at the next box to it and saw my son Raymond, his whole files. Then I began to cry from the inside out. This is feeling being in the presence of Yah. I began to cry from the inside out, because I said, this has been my living. These boxes is my 6 children and my ex-husband. husband, these are their files. And I realized that I've been keeping all of their files in order. My son Raymond, who had a head injury at 15, 31 years. I had a file on him. Not 31, 46. But the 31 years I've had files on his head injury and his situation and kept medical and everything in file. And I just was so overwhelmed. And I felt the Ruach saying, you always kept things for them in order. You always kept things for them in order. Then I looked over at the files of taxes. I said, Father, my whole storage is full of all their files. Files of when they were young, their children's shots, their elementary, their parents' teacher program, everything in the files, all the way to their medical, their dental, their birth certificates, their social security cards. I got all that in file. And I'm sitting here looking at this here saying my whole shed is full of files on these 6 children. Father, I'm holding all these files on these 6 children. This is what my life has been. And I was so overwhelmed. At the same time, he said, get the folders now. We'll look for the folders. And I said, but I can't find the folders. Where are they? And I know I had like a stack, at least 15 folders left. And he said, just sit down and just go over the folders that you have in all these stacks and see if you see them. I didn't see them. So I was feeling like I was just overtaken. But I really wasn't paying attention, because I think that being in the presence of Yah, my feeling in the spirit realm was in the presence of Yah. And then it rolled over to my flesh, and I was trying to make sense of why I was so crying and so emotional. What is going on? And then I realized at that time, knowing that the feelings of being in the presence of Yah is what that felt like. And you guys, I was just so tied up. And I began to even ask myself, should I just burn all these files? Since these kids are grown, just burn them up and just throw them away or get rid of all of it. And the Spirit said, no need. You have kept these files for them since they were children. Want me to tell you how deep it is? I was missing one folder, and I remember when it was my oldest daughter was married, and she had one child, my first grandchild. And I remember she was complaining of how she felt about me and how I raised her. Okay. And I began to tell her what I had to deal with when I had to raise her. Now she's an adult, married, and got a child. Guess how I did it? I went to my files. Praise the mighty God. I went to my files. And in that file, I took out her records from kindergarten to 8th grade, from freshman to senior year. 2 folders from kindergarten to 8th grade, and from high school, her 4 years in high school. I pulled out those files. I sorted through the files, showing how many times I had to attend her school, how I had to talk to the principal, to the teachers that she had, how I had to go up to the high school for her conduct. The same issue they were having with her was the issue that I was tainting at home. That's why I raised her the way The Father gives us that are spiritual. Ain't nobody caring about who you are in the flesh. That don't mean nothing. You ain't no mother in the spirit when you only have the sense to understand the flesh realm. That's why I say a good mother is a mother in which he says, obey your parents in Yah. Ah, you didn't know that, did you? Those parents that are what? In Yah. He ain't worried about you parent on parent in the flesh. That's flesh on flesh. It has no spiritual detachment of any righteous, any just, anything that's upright. So y'all can sit down, take a seat, sit down. You ain't got nothing to say. So I gave her that file. And I said, one thing about me giving you this, I want it back. My daughter held on to it. She held on to it. She went over it. And I said, you have any questions? She said, no. You know why? The same issues that I was having and tainting at home, I showed her is the same conduct she was doing outside of the home. And I had a file on it. You see? So the files were showing how they wrote her up, what they said she was doing, how she was doing it, from teacher to teacher to teacher to principal to principal to principal, elementary and high school. I said, you see all that they were dealing with you? That's what I had to deal with at home. So anything that you said that I did, you see what I had to deal with? I had to deal with you from home to make sure when you go there, you do what you're supposed to do. Did you graduate? Yes. Did you do what you're supposed to do? Yeah. But it take me to tame that mess at home. So you will understand. You ain't just going up in no school, no high school, no elementary, acting a fool. Now, the thing about my daughter, she wasn't saying that you were whooping me and abusing me, or no. I shot into that with every tool that the Holy Spirit gave me to use to raise these children. He knew I had 6 different personalities that carry 6 different spirits. How many of you all understand you have to deal with the spirit before you deal with the flesh? And how can you deal with the spirit if you don't have the spirit of Yah in you to deal with their spirit to come down to the level of their flesh? Sit down. You ain't no mama. You think you are. You run around here saying you a mama. Like David said, I was conceived in flesh. I was born in iniquity. Y'all are raising these children in sin and iniquity, or you raising them in. But see, this sister here, she'll tell you, you better stand your tail down. I mean, as far as you can stand down, because you don't know. You don't have no understanding of the spirit realm. You so used to thinking you got everything, your T's crossed and I's dotted in the flesh, and don't even know what's coming to your door. Because if you ain't instilling the spirit realm in your, not instilling, if you ain't dealing with the spirit of the Holy Spirit in you to raise these children, you're full of flesh on flesh. And no matter how you think your children is today, hold up. There's a lot of things you don't know about your kids. That's what you call spirit and truth. Something you might not know about. So that was a way that I had the files and records on her. You see? And you know, my daughter never did give me that package back. I asked her twice for that package. She never did give it back. Why? Because it told her conduct in public schools and in high schools, in the way she conduct herself. Now, did she conduct herself like that when she was an adult? No. Why? Because I tamed that mess at home. Hello? See, they saying you doing it there. But I made sure you wasn't doing it here. And if they say you're doing it there, I'm going to tag in on that you're doing there. I was never a mother that abused and use belts and whoopings to settle or to correct things. I mean, and I'd sit back and I look over my living, and if any of my children says that to me, they are loaded with lies. If they ever say that, because my household wasn't in a situation where so much chaotic was going on to where you was whooping and stitching cord and all this sort of stuff. No. Did they get whoopings? Yes, they got whoopings, but not like normal, not like most children did. You get what I'm saying? So she was wanting to understand. And what happens is these adult children today, because they don't know the prophecies that already knew them in the kingdom. See, the prophecies knew them in the kingdom before they was on the earth. And because they reject their fathers and the seeds of these men and their wicked and evilness that rest in them, they believe the only one was there to make sure they had from A to Z. Well, we are pinpointed on them. The parent that pinpointed, they were pinpointed on them. And I had a husband in the house for 30 something years, but he was in the house, but not. He was just there. He never sat down with the children, never did homework with them, never did sports, never took them to their activities, never did anything, not even a conversation with them. And they would turn around and say he was the best father. Why? Because he did nothing. But I was the one that set the law, the rules, to make sure that this household, we ain't gonna have that. Okay? So reason why I'm bringing this forth to you, I'm trying to get you to understand the level of records that Sister Deborah have saved on these adult children. And then I said to the father, should I just take them all and burn them up and throw them away and just burn them up? And he said, no, you kept a record on them, and I'm going to explain to you. So after I got out the tub, he explained it all to me. I thought that was so sweet. But in the process of me looking at all these files, I came up and I got one package. I got like 5 packages. Here go one. And in here, y'all can't see it, but it's probably a good, it's probably, y'all probably can't see it close up, but these are cards from my children. I got 3 packages of these that I've saved since they were young, all the way up to where they're at now. Just keeping these. But guess what I noticed? My son that had the head injury, Ray, he had cards always that carried a spiritual power punch. And I always wonder about that. How could he have known how to pick out such power punching words in a card like that? And I'm going to show you some of it. And I'm also going to show you something that I kept this as a file. This is Crystal, one of Crystal's files. I kept this. And this was a letter. Yeah, I probably can't see the writing. See? It says, Dear Mom, it was May the 10th. I don't even know. She don't even have the year on here. But it was, she had my granddaughter, so it wasn't that long ago. So I'm going to read it to you. And I keep all of this stuff as a file, okay? When I asked this young man to do my hair, I told him one thing I wanted about it is to keep it going backwards. And he was having a hard time dealing with how to just braid it going back. So I said, just do you. And it's something about this hair that refused to just stay where it needs to stay. And it just very, I don't know if I'm gonna ever get this again. But I want to share with you, this is what the Father allowed me to pull out of all those files. I said, when should I go into the garage and get these other cards from the children? Yeah, this is a lot of cards. This is a whole lot of cards. You hear me? And I have like probably got 4 or 5 batches like this. I kept them since they were young. Anything my children, even if they had a drawing, I got that in file too. Okay? Anything that they gave me, I got that in file. And also, I was taking a bath, and when y'all gave me the fullness, I also came up on this. Look at this ring here. You see this ring I got on my finger? I don't know if you see it. My baby girl bought that ring for me at an antique shop, and that was a what's it? It was that was this year, and I put this in the file as well. And I say I put it on my finger just to show you that this is what my daughter that moved to Paris, she bought me that, and it's really pretty. It looks real pretty on my hand. I just want to kind of say to you all that if I pull up the files, I think I would, because I when I went to stack the files so I can bring it to this video, the Father said you don't need to prove nothing to these people, and I'm so that is so sweet. That is so sweet for him to want me to understand. You don't need to justify anything to these people. You don't need to identify anything to these people, Deborah. You know, and I thought that was so, I'm telling you, I was full of the spirit bubbling up in me. I was so emotional, and I was like, these are all the files I be trying to tell these people, you know, something, so they'll know my testimony is your healing. But you can't, the world is so dark that people are not listening to anything just and righteous. People are not concerned about spirit and truth and the light. Our testimonies is out of the ballpark. So the Father told me that, and I thought that was so beautiful that he's telling me you don't need to prove nothing to them. You don't need to justify. But I thought of being an example to show y'all. I'm just gonna get one box out. I know. I just want to get one box out to kind of show you. Since I showed you these, I want to get just one box, and these are the type of boxes, and I have many that I've kept up on all of my children. That's why Sister Deborah, can tell you something. You see, you can't tell me nothing. You get what I'm saying? The Father has allowed me to know my children, not just from the flesh level, for who they are in the spirit level. You see? And he's given me so much good information. And guess what it had to do with? Know it, the feeling of being in the presence of Yah. That's what this whole message is about. This sparked all of those things that I'm bringing before you. It was a feeling of the Holy Spirit in me, just showing me how I have crossed my T's, dotted my I's, not just a natural mother, but a just and a righteous seed of the Most High Yah. And he was just, it's, you guys, it's such an awesome, that's all I can say, because you would never understand the feeling of being in the presence of Yah. It's a feeling to it. Okay. And he was just sharing with me, because my box had bust out and I started to cry. I was like, these are just too many files. And he was just letting me know you did what was right. That's what it's called, being and feeling, when you can feel you in the presence of Yah. Because he shows you the things on the outside and how you were able to not just master that outside, Deborah. You mastered it because what was inside. And without that inside entity, you wouldn't have been able to master that outside. So when you see all these boxes, Deborah, it means something. And that's just the beauty of feeling the presence of Yah, being in his presence in a way that your flesh has to bow down to it, you know. And I'm so grateful because he gave me at least 15 topics. Y'all, this was a beautiful time period for me. He gave me 15 topics, and every one he gave me, I had to jump up off the couch and go write it down. And I said, oh, Father, that's a good one. Oh, Father, that's a good one. I was like just, you know, feeling really good. Now, let me show you. I'm just going to show you one box. Let me get it. Let's go one box here. And I'm just I'm just going to show you what I mean. This is one box full of files. You get what I'm saying? It's full of files. You see what I'm saying? This is a file. This is the boxes I'm talking about. And one bust on me, and I just got all bent and crying and just having a hard time because I realized you're sitting here holding files on your children for no reason. And the Spirit gave me some good information regarding that. And he also allowed me to grab a box. And I said, but in my garage, I got a lot of these. And okay, let me kind of give you. Now, this one here, and this is what I said on the floor after that box had bust. I sat and got this package, and this is the Spirit. He's allowing me to read what my sons and daughters have left, that I also kept files that I can always go back to and know how I did good by raising them, how I don't need to hear no one to tell me. Ain't nobody trying to tell me no way, but this is a testimony to somebody. And I know it's just that one. And when I say that one, it's probably one in numbers. Okay. Not one in the body, but one in numbers, because people can talk all day and night, but the truth be told, they will make, oh, what did he say? Let me tell you what he said. Let me tell you exactly what the Holy Spirit said. Let me keep that one so I can tell y'all that one. It was a card that he was telling me how people will make they jump women. Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you, Father. Yeah. Thank you for that one too. Okay. Come on. Which card is it? It's got to be it here. The Father was telling me about how people would make in the flesh. That's a good one. Don't cry for the riches. Okay, all right. I don't know where is that. He said, wait a minute. Okay, this is a good. I'm gonna add this one to this one. Oh my goodness. It was a card that says, telling me that people would say about their children the lie just to back away the truth. Something like that. It was something I wrote on a card. And I have so many cards, y'all. When he was just talking to me, I was crying in the spirit and writing down as he gave me lessons, at least 15 lessons. And they were so beautiful. And you see how this because it's almost make me wondering, why is it doing this, and it has no reason. Let me do this. So I want to share with you all something here. The Father allowed me, when I was on the floor crying because the box had bust, and I started to cry and said, why are you keeping all these files of these children? And I went on and thinking about, I've been keeping them since they were babies, and I probably even got things showing how my breast. No, I don't think I have my breast feeding classes when I had my first child. And I don't think I have that. I might have it in some file somewhere, probably over there to the other house that they stay. But I have a lot of stuff that I have always kept the files of. And when that file broke, when it fell, and bust open, it just brought a whole new emotion, and it was a good, the feeling was so good on the inside, but it was a certain kind of feel. And then I began to recognize that's the cry of the spirit. My spirit is crying. And I was just so emotional on the outside. I was just, and then it was like the outside came in a oneness with the inside, and the inside came in a oneness with the outside. And I was able to really, really be in the presence of Yah, just listening to what he was saying. And I was just running back and forward, back and forward. He was giving me message. Let me see if that's the one he told me about. He was giving me message after message. Oh, yeah. This is it. Nowhere. This is what he said. He said, parents are making adult children a god and still telling and instead telling the truth. And I believe that people are making their children angels, and it's nothing spirit and truth about them. It's no light about the way they have created their children to be. That's it. Making adult children good and still not telling the truth. That's what I guess I had that misspelled. Not telling the truth. That's the card. There it is. There go the card. Can you see it? I don't know if y'all can see it. There you go. Can you see it? Okay. So the spirit was telling me about that. I said, and he was just explaining to me how he has been with me all the time with these children. So I'm grateful because the Father knows that he's been working with me all these years, and it's not for me to justify to you and no one else. It's not meant that even for me to even come and tell you this, but the spirit says somebody, this might do one person, and that's all it's about. They might be looking for something like this. Okay, now listen to this. The cards from Ray, my oldest son, who's 46, I can explain it because I don't pick cards like this, but he knows how to touch a realm in you. When he give you cards, Mom, here's one. Mom, thank you for all the ways you've been there for me. All the ways you've been there for me. Therein my earliest memories. There every day as I grew. There for me, for mine happiness moments. There for my happiness moments. There throughout the hardest one too. There for whatever I've needed. There for me still, near or far. There in my heart, more than ever, the wonderful mom you are. Now I got to read that over so I can get it. I think I need to read that one over. He said, there in my earliest memories, there every day as I grew, there for my happiness moments, there through my hardest one too, there for whatever I've needed, there for me still, near and far, here in my heart, for then ever, the wonderful mother you are. And that's Happy Mother's Day. That was from Raymond. But look at it. And he picks out, oh, you all probably can't see because he picks out such wonderful cards. Do you all know the one that had the head injury is Raymond? That's the one I just read card. Do you know he has given me more cards than any of my children? Every situation that he see fit, he has to bring me a card. Okay, who is this here? Okay, this is Quiet Storm. Mom, You're the one standing by us, supporting and loving us through every big, little, sad, happy, messy, crazy, glorious moment. And we're the one who don't tell you nearly enough how amazing you are. Happy birthday. And this is from Joseph. My son, Joseph. It got all of my children's name on it. China, both China, my daughter-in-law, my baby girl, Joseph, Jonah, my daughter, oldest daughter. It's for all of my children. But Quiet Storm bought this here, and I thought that was a beautiful card, and all the children had signed it. Did I let you see what it looks like? Okay. Now, here go one here. Now, this is during the time. This is my oldest daughter, who has my first granddaughter. She was married, and her husband now is divorced. And I looked at him as a really good man. He was very humble. Okay. And this is here. I kept it in whose files? Crystal. Let me see if you can see it. Right there. Dear Mom, okay? Dear Mom, thank you for your love, grace, and care. Where would I be without your prayers? You are perfectly imperfected. For that I am grateful. I appreciate all that you do. And Jaden, which is my granddaughter, is blessed to call you Grandma. You have stretched, your strength is like the sunshine on a cloudy day. Then she took this here, Proverbs 31 and 31. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. I got to get that. And she said that's in Proverbs 31:31. I read Proverbs 31:31. It's supposed to be in the virtuous woman. I ain't never seen that part of it. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. Proverbs 31:31. We love you. We appreciate you, and thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Crystal. That's my oldest daughter, and her daughter, my granddaughter, Jada. Now you see this card here? This is a paper. I love anything, y'all. You can write a note. You can write with a Crayola. It don't matter to me. I go deeper than just what I see. You see what I'm saying? I hear and I feel what is being said. You see, in what place it's coming from. You see what I'm saying? So she wrote this out to me. This is my oldest daughter. Do you all know she always had a good job, good paying job, good benefits? Always. She could have bought me a card. She bought me many a cards, but this one she wrote to me. So I like it. A lot of times you go out to get a card and it's not saying really where you feel. So I put that in her files. You see? And this one here is Ray. Ray again. Look at him and me. This is the one with the head injury. He has given me 80, no, I ain't gonna say 80. 75% of cards come from Ray, the one with the head injury. Okay. Mom, you taught me some of life's biggest lesson, sometimes without even saying a word. I know that's right. I grew up seeing you treat people right and share kindness where it was needed the most. Every day I hope to live up to your example. And every day I'm also grateful to be your son. Happy Mother's Day from Ray. That's from Ray. You guys, this is another one here from Ray. Who is this one? This is from Ray too. Okay. And I think this one is from Quiet Storm. No, that one from, but most of them are from Ray. No, I don't know who this is. That's from my ex-husband. But I have cards after cards. I have them also filed in my boxes. So to say this, the Father led me all the way through all of this for a purpose and a reason. To bring forth a message. To ask the question, do you know the feelings of being in the presence of Yah? Because all of what I'm talking about, you'll miss the purpose. Is being in the presence of Yah. And how he would open up things so you can clearly know that that's him. And your spiritual feelings and emotions are in the presence of him. And I felt that. When that box broke, I was already emotional in the inside trying to feel, ooh, I like this feeling, but oh, I love this feeling. But I was like that. I was trying to really grip the fullness. When that ruach is in you like that and allowing you to come to the altar, okay, so you can be in his presence. It is a feeling that cannot be explained. I can sit here and try to break it down to you and it goes straight over your head. You got to have felt that moment with Yah. And I did this morning. And he gave me, and he even gave me the end of what he was teaching me. And he also spoke to me about the files that I have, that a spiritual mother holds. See, a spiritual mother holds the files. He wanted me to understand. And then that's when he broke in me when I was in the tub, breaking it down. But this message is to let you know, many of you all can stand far away, for a distance, up against the wall, and it's no problem. It's time for me to not be caught up in people who are not going nowhere but in circles, okay? Speak spirit and truth and keep running, because you're not running in a circle. You're running to the finish line, Deborah. So don't get caught up in who's on the left, Deborah, or who's on your right, who's up in the center, or who's up in the up on the wall. Let them be where they at. They were there before you even existed in Yah. So don't think that it's important. It's not. Just imagine the Most High Yah and what they look like to him. So when you thinking that darkness is surrounding in the midst, understand, what do you think I see? Oh, Father Yah. Oh, Father Yah. You see? And this is what he told me. He said the files that a spiritual mother holdeth is a good thing. It is a carbon copy. One would say, those kids are grown. Let them go and live their life. Give them their space. Respect their boundaries. Sit your dumb tails down. The boundary is for the spirit of darkness, said the Most High Yah. What boundaries have you set with Satan? Huh? You see how you can take a word the world has created and use it out of the contents of anything that's righteous? And think that you can speak some just and right in your word? You out of bounds. So do you know what that means when you out of bounds? You out there deep in the ocean and drowning in your worldly truth. That's your boundary. Okay? So what he's saying really blessed me, because he gave me the fullness of it all. He was helping me to get things back in order. I know when I came back from out of town, I was saying, okay, look like I'm going to be bombarded with a lot of issues and trying to take care of a lot of things, Father. And I remember saying that. So I am grateful for him to come to me this morning. And guess what? Everything is finished. He even let me reach back to read my daughter's letter and to read a few of my cards. He was telling me, don't cry because you got all these files and you don't have to burn no files up. You can keep them as long as you want, because when anything happened to you, the children can go in and get whatever they want and the rest they can throw away, which would be fine. Because now the spiritual mother that had all the information in which, and they always, what was my college papers, Mama? You seen my college shot Rutgers, or you seen my college this? I got it. You got a copy of my birth certificate? I got it. You got a copy of my social security card? I got it. So the Father is saying only a spiritual mother would do that. And then he began to tell me in the water when I was taking a bath, he really just kind of really laid it on me. He said, Deborah, think about what you've been teaching. Instant that Holy Spirit flashed it right before my eyes, and not for my natural eyes, my spiritual eyes to see. How many times have I taught you all that it is written? You see? The Father was telling me in the tub, he said, see, I got everybody written. I had them written before the foundation of the world. Who gonna mess with my files? Who got something to say about my files? And what did I tell you, Deborah? I said, and how many times have you taught it? Right next to the name is who? They beginning and end. So you see my files, Deborah. You see my files? My files have existed before the heaven and earth was created. Who's to tell me what to do with what I got written in my files? Woo! He said, let nobody tell you about boundaries, Deborah. They'll never, ever come to the level of using the word boundaries towards you, because they don't know what boundaries in this world is about. You all never realize that this word boundaries in the last 15 years become a power punch to many sick people. Yes, they use it as a scapegoat. You remember years ago, I'm saying years ago because this is one of my biggest complaints that people had. They said, Sister Deborah, how is it you can talk to people? When I try to talk to my family members and I try to talk to strangers and I try to talk to people at my church, everybody always say I'm judging. I said to them, I said, oh yeah, the Spirit of the Most High said, people that always tell people that they're judging, that's an escape thing. It's a way to escape. People who are not strong in the Spirit, they can be brought down to the lowest term, because people will tell them, well, you're just trying to judge. And they don't want, their desire is not to judge anyone. Then they start to judge themselves. Because one has said to them that you're trying to judge, and it said you're not supposed to judge. It's one of the power punchers that the serpent seed can use toward the spiritual seed, who are not strong in the walk of the Spirit. You pull up on me. I ain't gonna lie about it. I haven't heard it, and I'm gonna be honest to you. But you pull up on me talking about me judging. Oh, I judge your tail inside. I give you something to judge. You see? So when people used to say that to me, I used to tell them it's a scapegoat. It's a word to use toward many who's bringing the light to shut the light down. And it was useful. They used that, I believe, to shut the light down. Okay, to keep the light from even being at any type of light or bright. If we can say that you're judging, then we can shut your system down. They use that. Back in the days, they use it. And I used to say to people, but what you should do when you just speak that word, just speak that truth. But I can't seem to get to them. I can't seem to say nothing without them saying everything I'm saying. I'm judging. And me and you, they would tell me that. And I used to always say, I wonder why that never happened to me. No, you didn't go there. Oh, yes, I did. Come to me talking about I'm judging you. I judge you from the inside out and outside in. tell you about yourself things you never knew or you thought somebody didn't know. I judged that in. You see? So so what happened was I look at that as to now. These words, energy, vibes, boundaries, these are demonic words to place a barrier so that unrighteous, wicked, and evil can have their way. And all it's saying is, I'm going to set my boundaries of darkness to keep light, even the pin needle of light coming anywhere near. That's all it means, Satan. Anybody out there? That's all it means. Satan, demons, wicked and evil ones. Y'all didn't know that, did you? I just taught you something. See, these are the weapons in warfare of the wicked. See, if Yah has weapons in warfare in this whole overall, don't think Satan ain't gonna have his. He comes up with something every year. You see people lighting candles. You see people lighting sage. You see people talking about energy, vibes, boundaries. All of that is darkness. It has to do with allowing darkness continue to be at the high level of darkness. If I put something in the midst of it to separate it from the light. Sage can't do nothing for you. Burning sage. Candles can't do nothing for you. Oh, tell them, Deborah, boundaries can't do nothing for you. I just taught a lesson to shut any mouth of any mother, any mouth of any adult children, any mouth of any man straight down. That message could shut your mouth down. Anytime you try to buckle up, it'll shut you down. That message showed you that the order of what people are doing and conducting on this earth is out of order, but in order. It's all out of order because it's in order. It's out of order in darkness. Okay? But it's prophesied in order from the Most High Yah. Praise the Most High Yah. So, tell me, have you ever known the feelings of being in the presence of Yah? Now I'm going to close out with what he gave me. By being in the presence, the feeling of being in the presence of Yah was off the chain. And let me show y'all what it was. What I learned was the Father went on to tell me about his vows in the kingdom and how it is written. When you get someone like Sister Deborah down here keeping vows on adult children, it's okay. Okay? It's okay for you as a righteous servant of the Most High Yah to know your children. Many people don't know their children. So they give themselves the boundaries and the children the boundaries. They put off energy and vibes as a seal to portray that I need that distance to be who I want to be. You're going to be who you already from the kingdom, baby. You're talking to someone that already know. You already. It don't take no boundaries on the earth to identify who you already been from the kingdom. What boundaries go hold what already is written? You can put up the boundaries on the left, the right, in front of you, but when you finish putting up that boundary, all it is witchcraft and sorcery to darkness. Evil. Portraying evil ways. I think of that message that I gave, and I could have went deeper than that, but the Father said, it's no need. It's just that dark out there, Deborah. It's so dark out there, they couldn't even comprehend the one you just dropped. Even about the guy with Noah wells, they couldn't even comprehend that. That carried all the power they needed to know, but you already knew it was dark against dark. There's just some things in this living, Deborah, you have to step out of. Meaning, you don't take it to heart because people are blind. They blind from the kingdom, baby. They're not blind from the earth. Oh, go, Father. Go, Father. Go, Father. Go, Father. Go higher. Go higher, a higher, a higher, a higher. Go a higher, a higher, a higher. I know that's right. They're blind from the kingdom, not from the earth. So don't think that the earth got something waiting for them. They gonna gain something on the earth that heaven ain't already gave them. So this is what you're gonna have to long suffer, baby. This is what you're gonna have to endure. You see? So Sister Deborah, the overall of it, he wanted me to also understand me keeping this paperwork and me getting frustrated in the natural. He showed me the whole route of it in the spirit, that he too keeps a record on everybody. Who gonna mess with his files? He's not gonna destroy his files. So you don't have to destroy your files because you got files on your 6 children. That means that shows that I gave you 6 personalities, which had 6 spirits that you had to deal with on the earth. And you kept information that if they needed for those spirits, for those personalities, you kept it there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And you don't have to destroy it because nobody else does it. Because ignorant mothers would say, oh, you need to let the kids be grown, let them go on their own. They got their life. They use the foolishest mothers that could even exist on the face of the earth. Any mother sit and talk about their children having boundaries. Now, I can have boundaries. Oh, yeah, I can have boundaries. No, my children can't have no boundaries. Because if they have boundaries, then they're against the boundaries that I have. And I don't play boundaries, okay? So if anybody gonna have a boundary, it'll be me. Hello. But because I don't play in that demonic boundary mess, I'm not detached to those boundaries that the world has created in the 15 years. In the last 15, 20 years, you hear sage being burned, you hear candles, and you hear therapists all over line talking about if you need a therapist to talk to, if you have issues, you need to. All that is demonic, Satan, witchcraft, and sorcery. Hello. In case now one of y'all knew, that's what all it is. Because if I set my boundaries, my kids will be in a heap of trouble. Oh, tell them, Deborah, tell them. My children will be in a heap of trouble. If I had to set my boundaries, let me give you a little testimony, a little something. Who I serve, who I serve. The Spirit of the Most High told me the other day, it's okay. It's time. I said, it's time. He said, yeah, it's time. It's time. That's after he gave me the dream and the vision. You know what he's telling me, y'all? I'm going to shut every last one of y'all tears down. He's saying it's time. You write and tell your mother to release it, said the Most High Yah. I had to sit down and write the letter, and it was so easy. When years ago it wasn't. It was so painful and so hard. And I kept in my files letters to my mother. I went out of town, me and my children, and we moved to Georgia. And at that time, it was with my husband as well. And I left all the things that I own into my mother's garage. That means all the children, pictures, and everything. So when my mom get with my other sister and them, she acts really strange. Okay. So when I moved back here, it was during the time my mother was selling her house and everybody was asked to come over to help clean up or to help her put everything in the big dumpster. We had to have the dumpster for a whole week because that's just how much stuff my mother had in the 3-level home, which is 7.1.5 bedrooms. So we cleared everything out. And when I got to the garage, my mother started bringing these boxes in. I said, oh, these are my pictures. And my little sister said, Booby, can I have this one? Can I have this one? I said, no. And my mother's came over. Those are mine. My mother claimed those pictures, y'all, knowing that those pictures, I used to own Brown's Cleaning Service. So all my equipment was in her garage. She claimed up to be hers too. When my dad told my sister's husband, no, you can't bother that before he died. He asked, can he have it? Because he opened up him a cleaning service. And my dad told him, nope, that belongs to Booby. And I felt so good that my father had passed away, but yet he had told my brother-in-law that, nope, that stuff in that garage belonged to me, which it was, to my Brown's Cleaning Service. But when my mother, when it got ready to move out of this house so she can sell it because she had sold it, she went to claiming everything was hers. I left there, couldn't believe. My older sister said, Mama, you know those are Booby's pictures of her children. Mama, in the garage. Those were Booby. She didn't want to release it. You think I fought with it? No, I didn't. But in my heart, I carried a hard heart. And I just could not believe that Yah would let her get away with that. So my children haven't had their pictures in, it's been longer than 10 years. My mother been holding those pictures, saying they hers. And I wrote letter every year. And the father had me to tear it up. He wouldn't let me send it to her. But this morning I woke up after that dream, and when I got up, I said, okay, the father said to me, okay, it's time. I said, it's time? I instantly knew what he was talking about. He said, write her a letter and tell her to release those pictures. Those are your children's history. It's time. So I wrote her a letter. I took it over to her, handed it to her, and it's like a big load that was put off of me. And the load was like, even if she don't, I got an opportunity to confront her to release it, said the Most High God. See, something is just strictly spiritual. Releasing in a way that you know that you did what was righteous. It don't mean the other side gonna do what's righteous or just, but it's a blessing from He that is greater in you that gives you that feeling of assurance that you did what was right. You released it, even though it was yours, but you released it by allowing her to know that I said, you told her that I said to release those pictures. I didn't say nothing negative. At the end, I said, I love you. And when I called her, I had my husband, my ex-husband, to take the letter to her, take it to her door. But when I called her, he said, look how excited she is just to hear from you. She's always excited to hear from me. But she had no idea what was in that letter. And I said, okay, I'll talk to you later. She said, okay, then. I told her I had Charles is going to hand you this letter that I had wrote. So she got the letter. Now that was 3 or 4 days ago. I'm not caught up in that letter and how she respond. I'm not even caught up if she give what belongs to me. It's just that the Father says time. And look at the time that He allowed it to be time. 10 years later, probably longer than that. Now that's a long time. But it's His timing. You know, every year I wrote her a letter and He said, no, tear it up. Every year. I even got a couple of them in the files. Sending to her. Never got a chance to send it to her and tell her. But I'm so grateful that He allowed me to have that time to release that which I've been holding on to, her not releasing what belongs to me, because it's like, really, it's honestly stealing. It's taking. And in the letter I told her, you take not from your loving daughter. You take from the servant of the Most High Yah. And that's how I love you. I end it. Because a lot of people think they do things to you as a female or as a Judith or a melanated person or whatever they want to call me. But baby, you don't do nothing to this flesh, baby. You doing something to He that is greater in me. When you do anything cunning, not crafty, witchcraft and sorcery, even in your thoughts and in your feelings and in your mind, Yah is not going to support you at all. I'm here to tell you, baby, He's not going to support you. because he knows what you're holding in your heart that has been wrong. And because people do not face wrong at, how would I say it, face to face, y'all said leave them alone. They ain't never been right. See, that's what people they don't understand. So I felt good because he allowed me to say that it's not a daughter that the Father will measure thee. It is a servant of the Most High Yah. See, because really, people, you can't do nothing to this flesh. You can't do nothing to this flesh. He said, don't even be worried about if they can kill the flesh. If only you all knew what was invested in those that Yah has called as his servant. If only you knew. And I know 99.9 don't know. And it's okay. So Sister Deborah, brought that message. And the title is, Knoweth the feeling of being in the presence of Yah. Because he did a good thing in me this morning. He blessed me with his presence in a way that not only the inner man can embrace, but the outer man can feel that thing. I give him all glory and praise and honor for him all by himself. Him not needing me nor you to make him perfect, to make him excellent, to make him great, to make him kind and merciful, and all that grace and mercy that he continued to pour out, making him wonderful, all knowing, all powerful. There's nothing like him. Hallelujah, hallelujah, and hallelujah. Give Yah all the praise. Shalom and shalom.